90 years ago, it was a cold and snowy night on Vimy Ridge. Canadians were dug in for the night. Cold and wet, but many comforted by the success of their assault. On this day, Canadians stood warmed by the sun. The CBC's Adrian Arsenault has our story.
All these decades later, would they still come, still remember? Indeed. Some 15,000 arriving in the warmth of a French spring so unlike the wet and cold of 90 years ago. Many relatives of the dead and Canadian students, each one representing a young soldier lost, wearing their names, carrying their stories. Time hasn't erased the connections to Vimy Ridge.
For this glorious monument, crowning the hill of Vimy, is now and for all time a part of Canada.
It was 1936 when the memorial was first dedicated. Thousands were here then too, promised not to forget. They didn't.
There may be no place on earth that makes us feel more Canadian, because we sense all around us the presence of our ancestors. If we close our eyes, we can see them.
3,598 Canadians died here. Taking the ridge proved impossible for other forces, but a defining moment for a young nation. And a loss that's still poignant. There was a lot going through hearts today, old and new pain. For Canada to lose 6 soldiers in Afghanistan yesterday cuts deep here. There are men and women in uniform who know fresh grief. That wasn't lost on the Queen.
To their eternal remembrance, to those who have so recently lost their lives in Afghanistan, to Canada, and to all who would serve the cause of freedom, I rededicate this magnificently restored memorial.
A monument that portrays Mother Canada mourning over her young, that represents sympathy, sacrifice, justice, all that was Vimy, and all that many would like to believe is Canada. Soaking in the symbolism and the double meaning of this day, Corporal Ryan Mayer, he lost his great-great-grandfather at Vimy. He also happens to be getting ready for his 6th tour in Afghanistan.
It's a noble mission, and it's something that we should, as a country who has so much and is so respected around the world, that sometimes we have to step up to the plate like these people did 90 years ago.
A kinship between soldiers and now between generations. The young students who came here today insist they leave changed people.
And it's just an excellent reminder for youth that otherwise would just forget about wars, because we have such amazing freedom in Canada. It's easy to lose track of what actually happened.
This place just seems to have that effect. Tonight, Vimy is silent. The Canadians are gone, but as it's always been, the promise remains to keep remembering and keep coming back. Adrian Arsenault, CBC News, Vimy Ridge.